right, we're going to begin talking about functions now. But before we can talk about a function, we have to talk about what a relation is. And so a relation is just a set of ordered pairs. And when we say the domain, what we mean is the first component of each ordered pair. And the range is the second component of each ordered pair. And when we have a bunch of ordered pairs, we're just going to make lists. So the domain will be like the list of all the first components, and the range will be the list of all the second components. So we can represent a relation as a set of ordered pairs. We could look at a table, we could look at a map, we could look at a graph, we can look at an equation. And so what we want to do is we want to sort of look at all these different representations and see, can we find the domain and range? So we're going to start with just this number one, a set of ordered pairs there, okay? So it says that we have 5 ordered pairs, 1, 6, 2, 9, 3, 12, 4, 15, and 5, 18. So what we want to try to do is find the domain and the range. So the domain is just all the first components. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we write it with these curly braces around our list there. Now, the order we write these in doesn't matter. We're not going to write any duplicates, so if one showed up a bunch of times, we wouldn't write it over and over again. And now we're going to do the same thing with the range. So the range is all the second components. So 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, so can we do the same thing if we're looking at a graph? So one way to do this is let's write each of these picture points on the graph as an ordered pair. So this first point down here in the bottom left is -4, -5. This second point here is -3, 3. This green point, the third one here, is -1, 0. The fourth point, that first red one, is 0, -1. The fifth point is 1, -4. And the sixth point is 2, 5. So I took this graph and I represented each of the points as an ordered pair. And now to find the domain, I just list those first values. So -4, -3, -1. 0, 1, and 2. And to find the range, I list all the second components. Or if you're looking at the picture, these were the y values. So -5, 3, 0, -1, -4. Oh, that first one was a -5. -5 there. So this should be a -5, and then +5. And so I just took each of those points, I made them an ordered pair, I listed the domain, which was all the x values, and the range, all the y values. Okay, lastly, we look at sort of a map or an arrow diagram, and what we see is that Maria maps to November 6th. And Armando maps to January 18th. We can think of that ordered pair as Maria, November 6th, and Armando, January 18th. So what we see is that my domain is all of these people over here, and they each get mapped to a date over here as my range. So my domain would be Maria, Armando, Cynthia, Kelly, and Rachel. And my range is going to be those 4 dates: January 18th, March 15th, November 6th, and December 8th. Now, if any of these people didn't have an arrow leaving them, there was no arrow leaving Maria, we would leave them out of the domain. Same thing with those birthdays. If any of those dates did not have an arrow coming in, so for instance, nobody had a birthday on January 18th, we would not list that in our range.